Hello, this is Diana. This is my Trailblazers of the Universe YouTube channel. On my channel, I am helping you fearlessly and unapologetically live your best, most authentic life. I am helping you break through your barriers and transcend limitations you may have. If that sounds good to you, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. So, today's weekly intuitive message is: you are not broken. You are in a period of rebirth, transformation. As the frequency shifts are going on the planet, a lot of changes are going on. As I've spoke about in previous videos, all the lower frequencies, right, or the trauma we haven't worked through, any blocks in our energy field, anything that's holding us back from being our higher self version, from shifting to a higher frequency, is going to come to the light. Anything done in the dark comes to the light, right? Because it can no longer exist. There's a frequency shift, like the lower stuff, it literally can't exist. So a lot of people are being forced to do the shadow work because you can't push it down anymore, you can't hide it anymore, because the light is illuminating it. As we are shifting, it can feel like a part of you is dying, and that's because it is. It's the old you, the programming, or I would say your lower self, that is not anything that's not in alignment with your highest self version and even your life purpose, what you're supposed to do on this planet, is going to remove itself from your life. Either it's gonna like be forced, or it's just kind of vibrate out of your existence. As you raise your frequency, you're gonna see friends that don't really resonate anymore fall off. When you're trying to hold on to these people, these behaviors, these habits, anything that's in a lower frequency, you're going to feel resistance. It's going to feel very uncomfortable. You're trying to attach on to something that doesn't resonate anymore. Sometimes it will force it to you. Sometimes it's going to happen in a way that's not really pleasant because you're still trying to hold on to something that doesn't serve you anymore, that doesn't resonate. So because of all this, it feels like a part of you is dying. That's part of the spiritual awakening. That's part of a dark night of the soul. Basically, anything that's not the real you, that's not connected to your divine self, is going to reveal itself to you. And it's going to be very obvious. For me, that's happening on a different level. You know, I went through addiction in the past. There's many levels of awakening. I've had dark night of the soul before, but now I'm going through another level of awakening. I got out of a toxic environment I was in. Talked about in my previous video, in a situation where I had to move. I didn't feel comfortable where I was at anymore. I learned what I had to learn there. And I didn't resonate with that frequency anymore. Certain people, we had family members, I had different things going on. My mom passed, there's a lot going on. We've done a lot of healing, that's great. And you've even learned the karmic lessons you're supposed to learn, so it's time to move on. But if you've done all this inner work and are raising your frequency, I'm not saying everything's perfect, right? We're on this planet, I'm not saying you're better than anybody, but you've done a lot of the work, you're raising your frequency, you're healing yourself, you're becoming your highest self version, you're stepping into your life purpose, you're getting into alignment with where your life's supposed to go. You're going to see when you're in the face of things that aren't in alignment anymore, but whether it's people, it could be food, it could be music, it could be TV shows, right? Anything that was programmed into us is not us. You have to think, anything that's been programmed from, we can say schools, the media, from family members, toxic family members, right? We are a sponge. We absorb, our subconscious took in all this, and we thought this is who we are. But most of it is not. We are spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. All of that programming, all that attached to this physical reality, even about the kind of life you're supposed to live, the way we're programmed to even consume, right? I mean, I'm going on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. So that way of life is not working anymore. It doesn't resonate. We're very corrupted, lied to, deceived, all that stuff. But I'm not trying to focus on that. That's not my purpose, to focus on that. But just being aware of that, that's not really who you are. So the awakening process is finding who you really are. It's more of unprogramming who you aren't. As I said, you can feel like a part of you is dying, right? So you're going through a rebirth. So you'll say, I'm broken. You'll say, I'm not good enough. You're going through all that programming. All that is going to come up to the surface. So even though you've done a lot of work and stuff, a lot of that has to fade out. So anything that's residual is still going to come up. Those feelings of unworthiness that we've been programmed to believe, which is BS. All the things that we've been told that we are, that we aren't. The things we've been lied to about, all that stuff's coming to the surface. So It can feel like you're even being flooded with all that stuff, right? You're losing your ego. You don't know who you are anymore. Because you feel like everything you thought you were and that you built your self-worth off of and thought you were was a lie. You feel like a part of you is dying. It can feel like, you can feel like you're broken, you're helpless, unworthy, but that's not true. Nothing could be farther from the truth. This is actually the transformation period. This is where you step into your power and you find out this is not who I am, and you actually find out who you really are, a divine spiritual being having a temporary human experience who is here on this planet for a certain purpose. Everyone has different purposes, right? Some of the people or light workers are here to raise the vibration frequency of the planet. That's what I'm trying to do with my channel. That's what I knew I was here to do. I had to go through that process too. With my addiction, I was going in the wrong direction. I wasn't going to make it much longer the way I was going. My life was so out of alignment that I had to have so many bad things happen and feel so uncomfortable to change because I was not changing. And then that sparked, I went through the toxic relationships, mom ended her life, I went through all that kind of stuff. And all that was needed to get where I'm at. It all pushed me, it helped me learn what I needed to learn and experience those really tough emotions, those really dark emotions, so I could find my light, so I could be the person I'm here to be, and I can transform, and my part of my purpose is helping people, so I had to go through a lot of that. So that's just me. But you're not broken, you're not unworthy. You're losing your false self and finding out who your real authentic self is. It requires you to go through a period of grief, of feels like you're lost, you don't know who you are, right? That's part of the spiritual awakening process. I'll make another video on spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul. But this is just a little inspirational video to know that you're not broken, you are being reborn. And to be reborn as a new version, the old version has to die. And anything that's not in alignment needs to die and fade out of your existence so you can be who you're meant to be. So allow the changes, allow what needs to come up, allow the emotions to pass through. Part of the healing is also allowing our emotions. We've been taught to suppress and not express our emotions, so that's a big part of it too. So allow the changes, allow the people to fall out of your life, the jobs, whatever's not in alignment, whatever it is, you'll see a lot of changes happen because these things are in alignment, and not everything you lose is a loss. I made a video on that as well. There's a quote that says, nothing is lost, always transformed. So things are always changing. Our human experience is temporary. So all these things we're so attached to on the physical level is all temporary, and that's always changing. Things are decomposing, things come and go, right? Situations change, financial situations change, our emotional state changes, people come and go. That's part of life. People literally pass away, people leave us. That's part of it, but you just have to go with the flow of the changes. That's part of life, is going with the flow of life. And when you're resisting that, that's why it's uncomfortable, because you're not letting your life flow in the direction, you're resisting the flow of life. You're not letting it go in the direction it's meant to go. It can't get there if it doesn't move. Things don't change. So this is a great period of losing your ego, losing your sense of false self is great, because now you're going to find out who you really are, and that's when you can really empower yourself and transform into your higher self version. Why you're here on this planet to begin with. All this BS, all the noise, the distractions, this program about who you think you are is all BS, and it's all falling apart. These structures are falling apart. So it can feel kind of weird, you can feel confused, but that's all part of it. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel upset. It's okay to feel grief. You're losing your old self who you've been attached to and thought you were for all this time. That's okay. So allow this process. This is all part of the rebirth and the transformation to be your best version and to empower you to do what you came here to do on this planet and to be who you truly are. It's actually a way to step in your power. You can transmute all these negative emotions, which I don't like to say negative, but all those powerful emotions, you can actually transmute it into something better, and it can inspire you it will push you to go where you're meant to go. That's all I have for today. If you like this content, hit those like and subscribe buttons. I also have a Facebook group, an Instagram, and a TikTok. My links are in my channel description and in this video description. I also offer transformational and spiritual coaching if you're interested in that. My contact information is in this video description as well. Have a good day.